Good evening, everyone. Thanks for being here. And without much delay, I would like to explain how to start your journey in competitive programming. I will explain this taking the help of any one problem available in the CodeChef. So, in order to solve any problem in CodeChef, first you need to have an account in that platform. And I already informed how to create an account in CodeChef. So after creating an account, if you are logged in, then you don't need to log in again. Otherwise, you need to log in. You can log in either by entering your username and password, or you can also use your Google account or GitHub or even Facebook account. So simply tap on that social media icon, and then you will be redirected to select a mail if there is more than one mail. After that, you will be logged in automatically. Then you need to select the question which you would like to solve. Coming to CodeChef, there are plenty of questions from years. In order to check that, you can see this section, practice and learn. Coming to this section contains variety of problems based on different difficulty levels. So there are different difficulty levels such as cakewalk problems, basic problems, medium level problems, and very hard problems. You can select any type of problem which you would like to solve and you can go ahead there. So to explain how to begin and how to run your code and how to observe the result of the code, I would like to take an example of the contest which was held very recently by some IIT. It's IIT Varanasi. The question is very easy, a basic level question I would like to take here. So here, for every question, they may give a story or they may ask the question directly. So most of the time, they will give a story to answer that. So here there is a story. I will explain this in simple words. There is a land called Chef Land. In that, Chef started a campaign in order to motivate people to use very less amount of water for the purpose needed. So here they divided water into two types: fresh water and the water which is not required for the drinking purpose or the mandatory purpose. So here, Chef made some activities, and from those activities, he brought down the water uses by y by 2. And not just that, here they gave x liters of water, saying that x liters of water is consumed per household. And this x liters of water is mandatory for to use the fresh water because here they divided water into two types: fresh water and the wastewater. Wastewater they can use for other purposes, and fresh water they are using for some important purposes like drinking, cooking, like that. So here the chef is not cutting the fresh water, but he is cutting the unnecessary water. I mean, he is cutting the wastewater. Here, as you can see, chef thinks though through this campaign he can help cut down the total uses by y by 2. And here they gave that the number of households is denoted by H for a week, and here all the count is in the town is for a week, and there are total C liters of water available for the entire chef land, and within the C liters of water, the water is further divided as X and Y. So this for every problem there will be a problem statement, input, output, constraints, and sample test cases. The thing which we just came across is just a problem statement. and then there will be the input. Input will explain how the input will be given to the program. So here you can see for this particular program, the first line will contain T, where T stand for the number of test cases. And the second line, or for each test case, there will be the single line of input. A single line of input will contain these variables, which are h, x, y, z, as described in this problem. So this is how the input will be given to the program. Coming to the output explains us how to show the result of our logic. So coming to this, they ask find whether all the households can now have sufficient water to meet their requirements. That means after cutting down the wastewater uses by y by 2, can all the households get the required water? That means that there are c liters of water. So chef did something and he cut down the total uses by y by 2, and this x liters of water uses is mandatory. So from this we can clearly understand that x is mandatory and y will be given to us. We need to cut this y by dividing it by 2, and then we need to add this both. Then we need to check whether the total is less than or equal to c liters, because c liters is the total amount of water available. If this total is greater than the c, that means the water which we need is more than which is available. So in that case, all the households will not get the required water. So that's the question. And here they asked to print if all the households can now have sufficient water, then print S, otherwise no. That means we simply need to check whether whether the C value is less than or equal to the total value. Sorry, C value is greater than or equal to the total value. Coming to the next step, we need to take care here about the constraints. Constraints are simply the limits for different variables provided in the program statement. So here in the input, you can observe that there is a variable t which stands for the number of test cases. So here the range of the test cases will be from 1 to 300 test cases. And then they also said that the values of h, x, y will be between 1 and 10, and also they can also be equal to 1 and 10. Similarly, the c range is in between, also equal to 1 and 100. So we need to make sure that in some cases, as this is an easy problem, constraints are very easy to understand, and in case of some difficult problems, constraints will be huge. In that case, we need to do some optimization for our code in such a way that we do not face time limit exceeded error. In case if your program do a lot than the specified time limit, then an error will come which is time limit exceeded error, TLE. Coming to the next part, they will provide sample input. Sample input is a format already explained in the input part. So here they said there will be first line will contain T number of test cases. You can see here T number of test cases. And then they said each test case contains a single line of input, 4 integer h, x, y, and z. So here you can observe each test case. That means there are 3 test cases and there are 3 lines here. For each test case, values of h, x, y, and z are provided. For every line, these values are provided. So now you need to implement the logic, and then you need to provide the required output. So for the coming to the first output in the sample test case, they said that the first test case is S, second is S, and the third one is no. That means in the first test case, water is sufficient for the household, second is sufficient, and third is water is not sufficient for the households. And also in few questions, not in every question, they will provide the explanation for the output. So here for this question, for the first test case, they said total consumption of a single household after using gray water is 1 plus 1 by 2. That means here you can check x, y are 1, 1, and we need to cut y value by 2. So x plus y by 2, which is nothing but the 1 by 2, is equal to 1 plus 0. Here you need to consider the floor value. Floor value is a quotient when you divide that. You should not consider the decimal part. So when you add 1 plus 0, you can get the answer as 1 liter. And here they said there are 3 households in total. So you need to multiply this 1 liter with 3, and the final answer is 3. Also, they mentioned that the total amount of water available is 3 liters. So this 3 is less than or equal to 3. So the water is sufficient for those households for that particular week. In this way, we printed yes. Similarly, for the rest of the test cases, you need to check these all conditions. So coming to the code, as this is completed competition, only you can submit the practice code. So for that, you can click submit button here, and the compiler will open. There, here you need to select the programming language in which you would like to code, and then you can continue writing your code. So let me execute by explaining this problem. Here they mentioned that the first line will contain the number of test cases. So in order to get the test cases in the variable t, I'm going to use an integer variable. Now I declared an integer, and then I'm going to read that from the input. Now we got the input. Our next task is to get the values of x, y, c, and h for every test case. That means we need to do this for every test case. So in order to do that, I would like to use while loop. You can use any loop you want, but while is most comfortable loop. So here for every test case, they said there will be the value of h, x, y, and c. So I'm declaring variables for each of those. And then I'm reading these values. Now this is done. Our next part is to calculate the uses. So in order to calculate the uses, first we need to cut the y by 2, and then we need to add that value to x to get the total water uses. So I'm going to store the total water uses in a variable with name ttu, and here I'm going to enter the stuff which I would like to calculate. So it's y by 2 plus x. Now in our next step, we need to find the total water consumption. If we want, we can also do the same in this line itself, simply by multiplying this with the number of households h. So now we got the number of households and also the total consumption of water for all the households in the particular week. Now we need to check whether this total water usage is less than or equal to the total water available. If that is true, then we can print S. Otherwise, we need to print no. Now I'm checking that condition using if total water usage is less than or equal to total water available, then I would like to print yes. Otherwise, I need to print no. So, so that's it. Coming to the compilation and testing part, here you can find a field called custom input. In the custom input field, you can specify whatever input you would like to test against this problem. So here I would like to test the same given sample input. I'm copying this and pasting. Here you need to make sure the test input mark button is ticked, and then you need to click on run. So wait for the submission to get executed, and you will get the output here. You can observe that the output we got is correct, yes and no. Coming to the next thing, so our custom test passed. Next, we can click on run or submit. Clicking on run will run our code using different test cases. In some time, this may give an error. Few times this will give a successful result, but few times this will give an error. So in case if you are getting an error by clicking on only run button, you don't need to worry. Just give a try by clicking on submit button and you may get a correct answer. In order to make a final submission, you need to click on submit button and then you need to click on OK. Now your code will be tested again at some private test cases which are not displayed here. So this test case will not be tested again. The author of the question will give some private test cases, and against that private test cases the code will be tested. If the code is providing the exact output as in the private test cases, then your answer will be correct. Otherwise your answer will be wrong and you need to check your conditions again. So here we got correct answer as we did correct. And for every contest you can check the rank list. Rank list will be live for some contest. For the most of the contest, rank list will be live. That means every time you can check. Even during the contest, you can check who is scoring high, who is scoring low, and who's rank. In order to check that rank, you need to visit the main page of the contest, and then you need to click on Go to Ranks button. There you can check the ranks of all the people who submitted a code, whether the correct one or wrong one. Here the red color implies the number of wrong submissions. This is about solving a questions in CoachF or whatever the platform be. The method of solving a question is similar. And coming to our contest today, I share the link in the description of our group and you can access it. So the link for that is coachf.com/DSEA 2021. This contest will start exactly at 7 o'clock, so make sure you are available with your laptop or your desktop. So at 7 o'clock, problems will appear on this page, and then you need to solve the problems as I discussed earlier. And for after every submission, within 5 minutes, you will get your rank after every submission, if that is correct. And there are some rules for this. For every live contest, there will be some rules and regulations. So coming to CoachF, rules are like this: discussing CoachF problems or any except of problem on any platform is not allowed. If that is done, then if we find that, then your accounts will be block. That means you cannot use your account again. Similarly, there are many rules. You can see the list of rules by opening this link and going to this section. Coming to judging criteria, that means how your score will be judged. In case two persons solved only two problems, then the rank will be given based on the time they took to solve the particular question. Also, if there is a wrong answer, then a penalty of 20 minutes will be given to that submission. Only if that submission became correct and also the previous submissions are wrong. In this way, we will break the ties between the scores. This is all about the contest, how to participate. So during the contest, you can also click on go to contest ranks button. Here you can check who is performing good, who solved major questions and what questions and everything. Also, copying the code or copying the logic is not. Of course, logic can be similar, but code cannot be similar for most of the users. So if we find code similar to two or more than two users, then we need to do do some test in order to find whether the submissions are eligible for the final rank or not. Now I would like to invite my friend Abhilash to explain one more question from the coach.
Yeah. Thanks, Sharon, for that wonderful explanation and inviting me here today. Good evening, participants. So before I begin, as explained by Sharon, there's nothing new that I'm going to discuss. I'll quickly dive into one of the problem from the coach, and I'll explain the approach, and I'll quickly code for it. Okay. So now, as told by Sharon, first we need to log in order, or first we need to have a login credential in order to perform or in order to compete in the platform, the coach platform. So after logging in, you can just go to your account. Oh, we provided the link. So I have chosen the one of the problem from the last coach's long challenge, which is conducted on April. Uh, for your information, the long challenge is a contest conducted by Coacher for 10 days, which goes up to 10 days. So, and there will be a 10 to 15 problems. So I have chosen one of the problems from them, and the problem is named as the strong language. So before I begin, let's quickly read the problem statement and understand what the problem statement wants us to do. So they told us that, so this will be a complete story. Please don't uh, get feel, or please don't get confused by the story or by the length of the story. So if you understand the basic idea behind that story, then that will be more than enough. So here, what he's exactly telling is a string is used to be is said to be using strong language if it contains at least k consecutive characters, uh, which is asterisk. So if that string contains k consecutive asterisk characters, then we can say that the string is using strong language. So he quickly explain what are the inputs. So we are given a string s with length n, and we just need to determine it uses strong language or not. So the input goes like this. So the first line of input contains a single integer t denoting the number of test cases. Because as explained by Sharon, there will be n number of test cases, and there will be n number of inputs based upon the test cases, number of test cases. So after the number of test cases, we'll be given two spaced integers n and k. So n is the size of string s. And in the second line, we'll be given a single string s. So that's it. We need to print a single line which is containing a string s if the string contains strong language, or no if it does not, without the quotes, obviously. So you may print character of each string. He also mentioned that we can print each string in uppercase or lowercase, like yes, yes in single, in simple lowercase letters, or combination of upper and lowercase letters. So he's just telling that they'll be treated as identical. So you don't need to worry. I mean, you don't have to worry about that. So this is the important part in any of the competitive programming. Constraints, the limits. You need to carefully observe what are the constraints for any given variable, for any given value. So here he mentioned that the number of test cases will be not will be more than 10. So it is at most equals to 10. That's it. And the values of k and n will be at most equals to 10 power 6. So for your information, the 10 power 6 is in the range of int, a normal int. So an int will be ranging from 10 power minus 9 to 10 power 9. So you'll get to know it definitely. After the contest, we'll also be sharing the competitive programming handbook. So in that, if you go through that carefully, you'll get to know all this. So, and there are two subtasks also, and the subtask one is, I mean, these are the things which we can simply ignore, but just go through them in order to understand on what criteria the contest setter is evaluating your code. So he mentioned there are two subtasks, and out of 100 points, the 30 points are being given to the n. I mean, it is being checked for the n. So the sum of n all over the test cases is at most 10 power 4. So, and the subtask 2 will be is the original constraints. So he asked us to use original constraints, or he is giving the original constraints in the input. So here's the sample input, and we need to achieve the sample output. So it is very simple. I'll explain it. First, I'll explain an approach. Then we can understand how we can solve the problem. So as explained here, as you can see, these are the inputs. So here the 3 is number of test cases. Here the 3 is number of test cases. 5 is the size of string, which is n, and the 2 is k. So now we need to check in the given string. In the given string, we need to check if there are 2 consecutive asterisks are present or not. So if there are 2 asterisks present in the given string, then we can say that string is using strong language. So as you can see here, there are no 2 consecutive strings, so which indicates that it is not using any strong language. So we are simply we are simply printing no. And in the second input, or the second test case, we are given the size of string as 5 and the k value as 2 here. So as I told, the k is just the number of consecutive asterisks in the given string. So if you find the 2 consecutive asterisks in the given string, you can tell that the given string is contains strong language. So here's the explanation. He also given the explanation for the sample cases. So you don't need to worry about that. So it's so simple. Now, what are we waiting for? Let's just quickly dive into our IDE, CodeChef IDE, and let's just code for it. So now, guys, I have 2 quick important, or a couple of main points which I wanted to tell you. So I'll tell you in big like while I coding, I'll tell you. So as told by the contest setter, we are given the number of test cases. So we are just taking the input into t, and we are using the simple while loop Also, for your information, if the number of test cases are 3, so this while loop will be executing or iterating 3 times. So simply, you need not to worry about taking the input and producing the output 3 times. So you can use a while loop, for loop, or do while loop, or any other extra method you would like to. But using while is is very simple and effective as well. And but I'm not telling that every time you need to go with only the while loop. So it is best practice to go with the while. That's it. So and in the next process we'll be given and k. So I'm taking the input n and k. Now I need a for loop to just iterate over the string. So I'll be taking an for loop variable as I, and the string size n, as you already know, so I less than n and I plus plus. So this loop will be iterating from the starting position of the string to the ending position of the string n. So now I also need another variable to just uh, have a check of number of consecutive asterisks in the given string. So I'm taking a variable called count, and I'm initializing or pre-initializing it to 0 so that I can use it according to my needs. So now I'm just checking with the condition if I missed an important part here. So I what I wanted to tell you is now I want a string, yes, or as told by the setter will be given a string as well. So this is a string. So now what we're going to do, we need to input the string, the particular string. So in C++, why I told or why most of the competitor programmers choose C++ as the base language, because here in the header files, if you include bits slash std_c++.h header file, this one header file is enough, uh, or it is one of this. It is the supplement to all the other header files. So you need not to include any other header files apart from that. So it saves a lot of time in the competitive programming. So because if you don't do that, you need to include IO stream to get all the stdio operations, and you also need to include the string class string.h, as we have the string, as we are using string from the C++ standard library. So I don't want to use them. So I'm habituated to use this slash std.h header file. So now after we take an input s, so we are just iterating over the string. That's it. So if s of I is equal to that particular character asterisk, then I'm just incrementing the count. And also I need to check for a condition here. So if count is equals to k, as I've told you, there will be k consecutive asterisk in the given string. So if the count is equals to k, then what I want to do, I'm just taking another variable which all the programmers will be using, which is known as a flag. So the flag indicates that we are doing some kind of manipulation for that variable so that we can check at the end of the program for our desired output. So I'll explain why I used flag as my preferred variable. So if count is equals to k, what I'm doing is I'm just initializing flag to 1, and I'm breaking the loop here. So what if this particular s of I is not equal to k? So I'm writing an else condition which sets the count variable to 0. Because why we are doing this, because let's just say if this is the if this is the given string, then As the for loop starts iterating from here, as the first character is asterisk, the count will be set to 1 as it will be incremented. So, and the next character, and as you can see, as the next character is not asterisk. So, I'm quickly setting the count variable to 0 so that I'm making sure that there will be no overlapping between these two. So what our problem statement mentioned that there need to be only consecutive asterisks, or at least if the k is 1, then we need to say that it is a strong language. So in this case the k is 2. So for that purpose I'm setting the count to 0. That's it. So now it's as simple as that I'm checking the flag variable. So if the flag is 1, only if flag is 1, I'm printing okay, okay, yes, my given string is strong language, or it is using strong language. Else, what if it is not equal to 1? So we are just gonna print no, our string is not using any kind of strong language. So this is the approach, or this is the code strong uh, for the strong language problem, which has been conducted in the April long challenge a couple of days ago, which has been ended a couple of days ago. So I'm taking the sample input so that we can check whether our code is working or not. So we are making sure that uh, our code is working. See, our code is being failed. What do you think the problem is? What do you think? So it's as simple as it. I've just pasted this if else conditions inside the for loop. So you need to be very careful about using every aspect or every element or every statement conditions inside the braces so that you're not missing them. So I have a habit of placing them uh, a bit closer so that I am not missing them. So I don't want you to get confused. So now let's run the code and let's have a look. So the output is no, yes, no. Let's just check with our sample output as well. Okay, now that is matching. That gives me a break, a couple of minutes to breathe. So now let's submit the solution and let's hope for the best. So it'll take a couple of seconds to get evaluated. So if, yeah, that's it. So here, as you can see, my code is being passed in the subtask 1 and the subtask 2 as well. So guys, as I've mentioned before, you can use any language that you're comfortable with, not only C++, not only C, not restricted to Java or Python. So why most of the competitive programmers choose C++ over other languages is that it's IO speed and most of the libraries that it has. In standard library, we have any function you name or any type of data structure you name, we have it in C++ standard library. So we can make use of them in necessary situations and do our problem or get a solution for our problem in less time. So that's what is competitive programming like, right? You need to get an effective solution in the less time. So I am wishing you all the best for the contest today. I know the contest is going to start at around 7 o'clock, 6:45 to 7. So make sure that you join on time and do your best. That's it. Over to you, Charan.
Thank you for explaining that, Abhilash. Now that's it for this meet. And if you have any doubts, you can ask us. If you are facing any problems, uh, making an account in CoachF or anything like that. Even anything about the contest? So, as no one is speaking, I assume that there are no questions. I am going ahead. So in case if you have any questions, you can DM admins of our WhatsApp group. And during even you can also ask us during the contest if you are facing any issues, but don't ask for any approach or any solution, because that's not a correct way to ask for a solution or any approach. You can also ask for clarity in the question, but not the answer or a kind of approach. And remember this link, you need to use this link around 6:45 p.m. in order to join the contest. Only the user ID is submitted, username submitted in the Google form will be given access to this. And thank you for joining this meet. Goodbye.